Alright, so this is Joey and Trey's Haunted House 2012 behind the scenes tour. We're going to start out here with our big sign that we have that we've been using for several years. We got that made online, makes sure people can find our house when they're driving around looking for it, following our signs that we have out in the neighborhood. Got our inflatable cat. These are the zombie flamingos that we got this year. Really like those, they're very cool looking. Let's see, and we're going to go under the caution tape, and over there you can see the crashed UFO that we got this year. That's new. We'll come up from behind here. Sorry about the lawnmowers. It's Saturday. It's impossible to get away from the lawnmowers. Here we have our chiller. It's a vortex chiller that we got online. It takes the fog from the fog machine, cools it down so it hugs the ground if it's reasonably warm outside. Of course, we painted it black. Got our hanging aliens stuck under those, and then we come to the gift shop. There's not really a whole lot of props that do stuff in here. This is more of our welcoming scene. We've got our alien proprietor. He's new, very detailed and slimy and gross. And we got some plush face huggers and chest bursters. It's kind of funny that they actually make plush critters from the Alien movies. One thing I wanted to show is this is the cross piece for the facade. There it is. It goes up across the top of the entryway into the Egyptian tomb. And it's just a big piece of foam board that's been cut and painted, and you can see right there it's about a couple inches thick and came from Lowe's. It's just a big piece of foam board. That's one of our favorite building materials. And we'll see a lot more of that in the Egyptian tomb here. So you got the foam board in the back. We carved all the hieroglyphics into it. We drew them and then carved them and then painted and then applied stone flecks. And then for the big things on the top and the bottom we have stencils. This is our sarcophagus. That's also new this year. Joey wanted to do an Egyptian tomb a couple of years ago, so we've been working on ideas for that for a while. Again, we got more of the hieroglyphs that are carved in and the stencils. And then over here we have the catacombs. We got more of the carved hieroglyphs and the painted stencils. And then these are cut into all kinds of crazy shapes to fit around the shelves that we have in our garage that we use for our catacombs. And we've got mummies, just some skeletons that we wrapped in gauze. We have the flame bowls, which are battery powered and have these with fans and have these silk flames here, and of course the LED candles and some other decorations. Another thing that we did in this room to make it a little more claustrophobic was we put panels on the ceiling, which we don't normally do, and those are just big thin pieces of the same foam insulation painted and with the stone flecks applied. Alright, moved into the lab here with the mad scientists, with Boris and Esmeralda. There she is. Let's get a little more light on her. There she is. And in this room we have a CD player under the table over there that is controlling the two of them. They have we have a CD playing a recording of them talking and bantering back and forth, and then they have input jacks in each one of them, and we have the left channel going to Boris and the right channel going to Esmeralda, and so they talk back and forth. So we can see some of the, of course everything looks better in the dark, but it's harder to see on camera. So here's a better look at some of the props we have on the shelf. That's all the vaguely sciencey stuff. And then we've got the witch stuff in here. There we go. Let's see. And Boris has a whole table full of stuff over here. And we've got the Acme Lab sign on the wall. Oh, there's Buster, favorite skeleton. And some pictures and stuff. Let's see. Move into the graveyard. We have a bunch more of the LED candles. We've got this sort of ossuary type sculpture made out of bones. We've got the Beloved. Most of that is also same thing, foam board. This is all big chunks of foam board put together to make that big block. And then of course we have the beloved herself, and that's a wig and a wig head and a dress and lots of chicken wire inside. We got our flying crank ghost, and she's got her apparatus that spins around and moves her, and then there's a black light hanging off of it, makes her glow very nicely. And some more decorations. There's our bone-chewing golem and a lantern and some black flowers and the tombstones. Now, one of the few things I have turned on right now is our endless sewer tunnel here. Let's back up a sec so you can see the big grate on the outside. So it looks like a sewer tunnel is sort of mounted into the wall. And then what we have here is we have a two-way mirror in front and a two-way mirror in back. And that reflects the image inside back and forth. And then this is great stuff. Let's get some light on that. So all these big gross chunks in here are it's an insulation product called Great Stuff, and that's been sprayed on there and then spray painted black. I got our big rat. And the reason we used a two-way mirror in the back this time instead of a regular mirror in the back was so that we can, if there's a button here you press, it says scream, says do not press the red button, and then you can't see it in here because there's too much light, but you get a, it actually goes all the way through and you can see a scary mask in the back. Another cool thing we made this year was this door. It's all rusty looking. It's actually made out of foam board, almost all of it's foam board except the round part on the hinge is a tiny piece of wood. All the rest of it is foam board and paint. And then we've got our Cthulhu tentacle there, and then into the black light room. I left the lights on in here so it's not too dark. We also have a ceiling in here to keep out even more of the light, so it's just black light, and to keep the black light from escaping into other rooms. And we got the shears that glow in the dark, and the clown, which freaks out some people again. I don't know why. Some clown trauma at a young age. And all the posters, and we've got these dots that hang from the ceiling in various places. It's pretty much the same thing we had last year. In the next room we got our standard spider room. We've got big spiders. On the video it looks like these are eyes, but they're actually other little spiders. So we have a big spider on the wall there, big spider up there, big spider on the wall there, more spiders up here, lots and lots of little spiders, lots of webs, and of course all the webs glow in the dark. Most of the webs glow in the dark. And then we also have spiders on the ceiling, you can see, and those are just webs strung across and little plastic spiders flicked on top. And then we have the flame guy, a little Tarkin here. So it's a big giant mask on a PVC skeleton that we made with some articulatable joints so we can get him in an interesting position. He's kind of top heavy, and so he's got some weights on the bottom, and he actually has a string here that's holding him up, a little bit of fishing line. And then there's let's see, there's right there, there's a little strobe light that's taped down to the ground, and over here we have a beam sensor, and when you trip the beam sensor it turns on the strobe light. Then we move into the visual disturbance room. So we have a funhouse mirror on the wall, in two parts on the wall here, a couple of weird looking posters, and then we have two DJ light setup. This one is swirly lights, and this one's called a moonflower, and just does a bunch of dots and weird patterns. And then on the floor, I created a geometric pattern using glow-in-the-dark tape. We've done that on the floor in the blacklight room last year, but this year we did it in here just to make everything as crazy as possible. And of course, it looks really cool in the mirrors, all the crazy reflections there. And then the last room is our monster in a box, which just has a in the corner there's a sensor, and when you walk in it turns on the power, which makes the lid go up and down, and turns on the speakers for a CD player that's playing inside there that plays all the banging sounds. And that's pretty much it. I got a few more decorations in here, and like I said, everything looks better in the dark, but it's so much easier to see in the light. Hope you enjoyed our tour here. Thanks.